Hi betting experts, on Saturday September the 21st, an 8-race extravaganza on ITV on Saturday, the best of the action from Ayr on Gold Cup day and Newbury, where they've got some cracking group action as well as some competitive handicaps. The ground on the softer side of good at Newbury with rain forecast. I think probably it's dried out through to Saturday, just a case of whether they get the rain there. Perfect ground conditions at Ayr for their big day, a huge crowd guaranteed. We start off with our betting expert daily nap, goes in the 150 at Ayr, the Doonside Cup, a 1 mile 2 furlong listed contest. This looks tailor-made for Phantom Flight from the James Horton yard. Now James has had an up and down season, plenty of difficulties away from the track. He hasn't got that many horses. Phantom Flight is by far the best in the yard, and he's run 3 cracking races in victory and defeat this summer. He was particularly impressive on his reappearance at a big prize when tipped up for betting expert, winning pretty easily there, travelling strongly under a confident ride. 2 defeats since, but his latest second was a cracking effort in the Strensel at York, a Group 3 won by See the Fire. Watched the run back. Phantom Flight was right up on the hammer throughout and just picked off by one ridden cold from out the back. He shaped really well. He's in top form. He's relatively fresh after just 3 runs this season. I think he's the clear form choice here with everything in place under Callum Shepherd. Our betting expert value angle selection goes in the 205 at Newbury. It's a 1 mile 5 furlong handicap, and I like Lieber Power here from the Andrew Balding yard. Now Andrew continues in blistering form. He's had 14 winners in the last fortnight at a 17% strike rate. He's running a lot of horses. They're all running to form, and this progressive handicapper remains open to more improvement after just 9 starts so far on the turf. I thought last time out he was left with an awful lot to do from rear at York, finishing really strongly from an impossible position. I think this stiffer stamina test at Newbury, more galloping track on ground with a little bit of cut in it, absolutely perfect. And I suspect Sheen Murphy will be a lot more positive on this occasion. The remaining 6 races on ITV on Saturday, we'll spin through them in time order, starting at Newbury in the 130, a 5 furlong Group 3. Well, A Day in Devon is very much Rod Millman's stable star. She's a lovely filly with a terrific attitude. She's got loads of early pace, and I think this Group 3 is a perfect bit of placing. Regular rider Sylvester de Souda's back in the plate. I think he'll be looking to make all the running and fend them all off. Last time at Ponty, she got reeled in up the hill. I think that this track will be much more suitable than Pontefract, and she's got brutal early pace. She keeps finding for pressure. She'll probably be under pressure a furlong out or before then, but she does keep pulling it out. If she can dominate from the stalls, I don't think they'll get past her. Over to Ayr for the 225, the Silver Cup. Over 6 furlongs, a really competitive handicap for those who didn't make the cut in the Gold Cup. I'm going to give a chance here to Summergan. Now, I know punters have probably lost patience with him. He's a sort of Twitter horse who gets people joke that he's an eye-catching loser. Be on next time. Every time he runs, he tends to finish strongly from a poor position in these sprints, often encountering trouble in running. But this is tailor-made for him. There's so much early pace. I mean, there's at least 6 of these have got blistering early, want to dominate, so it can't help, you'd hope, be set up for a pace collapse and a finisher. Summerhand tips all the boxes, as I say, could well be unlucky again, but if you're going to play in the race, look for bookmakers offering 6 places or even more and play each way, because Summerhand, as ridden, is a very good each way bet in this sort of race. Back to Newbury for the 240, a competitive handicap over 1 mile 2. Well, Houston looks overpriced here for Richard Hannon and Holly Doyle. This one had been on a steady upward curve of improvement until sinking in deep ground at Ascot last time out. That was a valid excuse. We don't want the rain to arrive. I suppose by 240 it might have done, looking at the forecast. Hopefully it won't get too deep. Newbury rarely gets too bad unless they have a proper downpour, so Houston for me at a double figure price, the one to side with here. Back to Ayr for the 3 o'clock, a 6 furlong Group 3 for 2-year-olds. Well, George Bowie's Englemere looks overpriced to me here. Bowie's got a typically strong hand in the juvenile division this season, and his speedy filly, I thought, ran really well. Sent over to Longchamp in a Group 3 earlier in the month on the 1st of September. If you watch that run back, he was up on a strong pace throughout there, just got tired inside the final furlong. That form, well, Asterius, who won the race narrowly, has come out and won a really good race earlier in the week, so it looks strong form. I think Englemere will go really well here under Loughnane. Over to Newbury for the Mill Reef at 3:15, a 6 furlong Group 2. Well, Andesite, before he ran, was rumoured to be Carl Buck's very best 2-year-old. Obviously, he made a really impressive winning debut in May, despite lots going wrong, only winning narrowly, but it was very strong form at the time. I think he had a minor setback. He was off for nearly 3 months, and he reappeared in the gym crack at York last time out. I thought he probably needed the run. He was a late drifter. I think he started 7-1 bigger on the exchanges. He wasn't given a hard time as he tired. I thought he ran perfectly well, and that form's been well franked subsequently by the 3rd and 4th at group level. And I think he's got loads more scope to do better after just 2 career starts. Carl Buck's had a fantastic season. And finally, the big betting race of the afternoon, the 3:35 at Ayr, the Gold Cup, obviously a minefield. Look for bookmakers paying the extra places. As said before, I think Rohan is the standout contender here. Now, David Evans has been under a cloud for about 6 months, I think. He's usually a prolific trainer, but his horses have just not been winning. But Rohan is really well handicapped, and last time at Ascot, the money arrived for the first time in about 10 starts, and I thought he was a bit of an unlucky loser. They didn't go any gallop in a small field there, and he finished, he'd have been able to blow out a candle. I don't think he had much of a race. There's loads of running left in the tank. This is a different setup here, loads of pace, a huge field. Rohan will be flying home. He's extremely well handicapped. I'm sure he'll reward each way support at a double figure price. Best of luck with all 8 ITV races on Saturday, betting experts.